It's important for us to understand what's happening in the world around us. Because every Muslim is Ibn Zaman. You are the child of your generation. And if you don't understand what's happening, you will quickly be swept away to the side. What is the purpose of wealth? And why should we build wealth? Let us start on the why should we build wealth. Before we talk about why we should build wealth as Muslims, we have to break two misconceptions. The first misconception is that the Prophet ﷺ was poor. Whoever says the Prophet ﷺ was poor, I challenge this person to bring me concrete evidence of this. The Prophet ﷺ was a noble man from a noble family, and he was wealthy, but he lived a simple life. He chose to live a simple life. It is not that he was poor, that he did not have the means, that he struggled. No, he chose to live a simple life, even though he had access to wealth. The Prophet ﷺ owned land, he owned farmland. Part of this farmland was generating rent, income. Part of this farmland, he had given it as a waqf to generate income fi sabilillah, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ made investments. The Prophet ﷺ bought and sold, he traded. He entered into a mudaraba, a partnership agreement with Khadija radiallahu anha before Islam. He learned to trade under the mentorship of his uncle Abu Talib. So this is somebody who's an experienced trader who travels to Syria in those days, to the Levant, to trade. He understood the ability to understand local cultures, prices, customs, products. He had all of this understanding. The moment he arrives in Medina, after building Masjid Quba, after building Masjid Quba, what is the first thing the Prophet ﷺ builds? One apartment for each of his wives. Property. He gave importance to these things. This is the first misconception. For us to think the Prophet ﷺ was a poor, financially illiterate person, this is a lie against the Messenger ﷺ. The second misconception, which is a really important one, which is very popular, which we have to destroy, is that poverty is piety. If somebody is poor, that means, mashallah, this person is righteous, going to Jannah. This is not the case. The Prophet ﷺ, he informs us that wealth is a test, absolutely. And he also informs us that the people who have less, they tend to be the people who are more conscious of Allah, because they have less material tests. They're able to focus on the worship of Allah, and they're able to give less importance to these things. That doesn't mean that if you take an average person who's poor, an average person who's rich, the poor person is 100% more righteous. Not necessarily. From the 10 people promised paradise, 8 or 9 of the 10 people promised paradise were business people, were traders, well-known traders, who were wealthy. They were affluent, they were not poor. So let's hear, who are the 10 promised paradise? Al-Ashara al-Mubashirin bil-Jannah. Go on. Okay, khalas. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Umar bin Khattab, Uthman bin Affan, Ali ibn Abi Talib. 3 out of 4 of them were traders. They bought and they sold. They were businessmen. Okay, who's going to give me other names? Yes. Talha bin Ubaidillah, Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, Abdul Rahman bin Auf. So from them, Abdul Rahman and Uthman are the most prolific and the most wealthy of the Prophet's companions, and they are promised from the 10 promised paradise. Yes. Zubair ibn al-Awwam radiyallahu anhu. Yes. Abu Ubaid ibn al-Jarrah, Aminu Hadi al-Ummah. Any others? Afwan? Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. We would not consider him from those 10, but definitely somebody who died as a martyr. Yeah. So these are the two misconceptions. Number one, the misconception that the Prophet ﷺ was poor, and number two, the misconception that poverty is piety. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Ni'mal mal as-salih lirrajul as-salih." How amazing it is for wealth to be given to a righteous person. It's a virtue. It's not a naqs. It's not a deficiency. It's a virtue. It's something that, it's not just that we can say, oh, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be wealthy. Rather, it is virtuous and recommended and rewardable for you to be wealthy, but you got to go into it with the right intention.